Here's something that happens to men constantly. A woman is interested in them, and they completely miss it. She's sending signals. She's creating opportunities. She's doing everything short of holding up a sign that says, "I like you." And he walks away thinking she was just being friendly. On the flip side, some guys see attraction everywhere. Every smile is an invitation. Every laugh is a green light. They misread basic politeness as romantic interest and end up embarrassing themselves or worse, making women uncomfortable. The problem isn't that attraction signals are impossible to read. The problem is that most men were never taught what to look for. They're trying to decode a language they never learned. Today we're going to fix that. I'm going to walk you through the specific behaviors women display when they're genuinely attracted to someone. Not theories, not guesses, observable, consistent patterns rooted in psychology and biology that show up across cultures and contexts. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and more importantly, you'll understand why these signals mean what they mean. Let's start with something that happens almost immediately when attraction kicks in: the self-presentation shift. When a woman is attracted to you, she becomes more aware of how she appears. This is usually unconscious. She's not sitting there thinking, "I need to look better for this guy." It just happens. Her brain recognizes someone she's interested in, and her body responds by trying to present itself favorably. What does this look like in practice? She might touch or adjust her hair. This is one of the most documented attraction signals in behavioral research. Hair touching increases dramatically when women are around men they find attractive. It serves multiple purposes. It draws attention to her appearance. It's a self-soothing behavior that calms nerves, and it's a subtle form of pining. She might adjust her clothing, straightening her shirt, smoothing her dress, checking that everything is in place. Again, this isn't calculated. It's her subconscious making sure she looks her best. Her posture often changes. She might stand or sit up straighter. She might angle her body toward you rather than away. She might position herself so you have a clear view of her face rather than her profile. The key insight here is that these behaviors are comparative. She's not just touching her hair because she touches her hair. She's touching it more around you than she does around others. The signal isn't the behavior itself. It's the change in behavior when you're present. You might also notice her checking her reflection if she passes a mirror or window while you're around. Or she might apply lip gloss, check her teeth, or make small adjustments to her makeup. These are subconscious grooming behaviors triggered by the presence of someone she wants to impress. Another version of this is wardrobe awareness. If you see her repeatedly and notice she's putting more effort into her appearance on days she knows she'll see you, that's not coincidence. She's dressing for an audience of one. Here's something that confuses a lot of guys. Attraction doesn't look the same in every woman. Some women become noticeably nervous around men they like. Others become more confident and outgoing. Both are attraction responses. They just manifest differently. Let's talk about nervous attraction first. When a woman is attracted but nervous, you'll notice fidgeting, playing with jewelry, adjusting her clothes repeatedly, touching her face or neck. Her speech patterns might change. She might talk faster, stumble over words, or laugh more than the conversation warrants. She might have trouble maintaining eye contact, looking away frequently, but then looking back. The nervous response happens because attraction creates internal pressure. She cares about the outcome of the interaction, which raises the stakes, which triggers anxiety symptoms. It's actually a compliment. She's nervous because you matter to her. Confident attraction looks different. A woman displaying confident attraction might hold eye contact longer than normal. She might initiate playful teasing or banter. Her body language opens up rather than closing down. She takes up more space, gestures more expressively, and seems genuinely at ease. The confident response tends to come from women who are comfortable with attraction or who feel secure in the interaction. They're not anxious about the outcome. They're enjoying the experience. Here's the important part. Both responses indicate attraction. Don't make the mistake of only looking for one pattern. Some women will be nervous around you, others will be more confident. What matters is that their behavior shifts from their baseline when they're around you specifically. There's also a third response, the hot-cold pattern. Some women fluctuate between nervousness and confidence within the same interaction. They might be bold for a moment, then retreat into shyness. They push forward, then pull back. This inconsistency isn't mixed signals, it's attraction that she's trying to manage and not quite succeeding. If you want to know whether a woman is interested, sometimes the clearest signal comes from her friends. Women talk. When a woman is attracted to someone, her friends usually know about it. And those friends often can't help but react when the person she's interested in is around. What does this look like? Her friends might glance at you when you enter a room, then look at her. They might whisper or exchange knowing looks. They might suddenly find reasons to give you space, going to get drinks, stepping away to take a call, anything that leaves her alone with you. Sometimes it's more direct. Her friends might ask you questions about yourself, essentially vetting you on her behalf. They might bring her up in conversation, highlighting positive things about her. They might even create situations where interaction is natural, like suggesting everyone move to a different location that happens to put you closer together. Pay attention to how her friends behave when you're around. If they seem unusually aware of you, if they're watching interactions between you and her, if they're facilitating rather than blocking, that's often because they know something you don't. One specific signal to watch for. If she steps away and her friends immediately look at you and smile, or if they seem to be discussing something while glancing in your direction, there's a good chance you're the topic of conversation. Here's another thing friends do. They test you. They might ask questions that seem random, but are actually designed to see how you respond. They might challenge you mildly to see if you can handle it. They might even be slightly cold initially to see if you'll stick around. If you pass their test, suddenly everyone warms up. The friends were gatekeeping on her behalf. When someone is attracted to you, they want to know you, not surface-level small talk. They want to understand who you actually are. This manifests as questions. Specifically, questions that go beyond what casual conversation requires. A woman who's just being polite might ask what you do for work. A woman who's interested will ask follow-up questions. How you got into that field, what you enjoy about it, what your goals are. She's not just filling silence. She's actually trying to learn about you. She might ask about your family, your childhood, formative experiences. She might want to know about your passions, what you do in your free time, what matters to you. These aren't interview questions. They're attempts to understand the person behind the surface. Here's the key indicator. She remembers what you tell her. If you mentioned something in passing weeks ago and she brings it up later, that's significant. It means she was paying attention. It means she stored that information because it mattered to her. People don't remember details about people they are indifferent to. Watch for callbacks. If she references things you said in previous conversations, if she asks how that situation you mentioned turned out, if she remembers your preferences and acts on them, she's tracking you. That's attention. And attention is a resource we only spend on things we value. This one is fascinating from a psychological standpoint. When people feel connected to someone, they unconsciously start imitating them. It's called mirroring, and it's one of the most reliable indicators of rapport and attraction. When a woman is attracted to you, she might start mimicking your body language without realizing it. If you lean forward, she leans forward. If you cross your arms, she crosses hers. If you take a drink, she takes a drink. The synchronization happens naturally as her brain attunes to yours. Mirroring extends beyond physical posture. She might start adopting your speech patterns using phrases you use, matching your energy level, even laughing at the same rhythm. If you speak slowly and deliberately, she might slow down. If you're high energy, her energy might rise to match. The psychological basis for this is deep. Mirroring creates a sense of connection and understanding. It signals I'm like you and I'm with you without words. When someone mirrors us, we feel understood. When we mirror someone else, it's because we want to be understood by them. You can actually test for mirroring. Make a subtle gesture. Touch your face. Shift your posture. Pick up your drink. And watch if she follows within a few seconds. If mirroring is happening, you'll notice the pattern. She's not copying you consciously. Her body is responding to the connection she feels. Mirroring also happens with emotional tone. If you share something vulnerable and she responds with matching vulnerability, that's emotional mirroring. If you get excited about something and her energy rises to meet yours, that's mirroring, too. The synchronization of emotional states is one of the deepest forms of connection and one of the strongest attraction indicators. Here's a simple truth about human interaction. When we're interested in someone, we don't want the conversation to end. If a woman is attracted to you, she'll invest effort in keeping the dialogue going. She won't let it fade into awkward silence. She won't give one-word answers that kill momentum. She'll actively participate in sustaining the interaction. What does conversation investment look like? She asks follow-up questions. When you finish a thought, she doesn't just nod. She wants to know more. She picks up threads from earlier in the conversation and develops them. She introduces new topics when one naturally winds down. She offers information about herself without being asked. She's not just interviewing you, she's sharing. She wants you to know her too. The conversation flows both ways because she's making it flow both ways. She lingers. When there's a natural exit point, when the event is winding down, when she could reasonably leave, she stays. She finds reasons to extend the interaction. She might suggest getting coffee, moving to a different location, or just not leaving when she could. The contrast is obvious when you've experienced both. A woman who's not interested will let conversations die. She'll give you nothing to work with. She'll take the first reasonable opportunity to end the interaction. A woman who's interested does the opposite. She keeps giving you reasons to stay. Watch for reopeners, too. If the conversation seems to be wrapping up, and she suddenly introduces a new topic or asks a new question, that's a reopener. She saw the exit and chose not to take it. She's actively choosing to continue talking to you when she could easily have stopped. Text conversations follow the same pattern. Does she respond quickly? Does she send messages that invite responses or messages that close off dialogue? Does she text you first sometimes, or are you always initiating? Investment in digital conversation mirrors investment in person. Everyone knows compliments can indicate attraction, but not all compliments are created equal. Like compliments are generic. That's a nice shirt. You seem cool. These are social lubricant. They don't necessarily mean anything beyond basic friendliness. Attraction compliments are specific. They reveal that she's been paying attention to particular things about you. Instead of "you're funny," she might point to a specific thing you said that made her laugh. Instead of "you seem smart," she might reference a particular insight you shared. The specificity shows that she's not just being polite. She's actually noticed and appreciated distinct things about you. Watch for compliments that require observation. If she comments on something that took attention to notice, your taste in something, a personality quirk, the way you handled a situation, that's different from surface-level niceness. She had to be watching closely to see that. There's another form of attraction-based complimenting that's easy to miss: playful teasing. When a woman teases you, makes fun of something you said, gives you a hard time about some preference or habit, it might not sound like a compliment, but it often functions as one. Teasing requires attention. It requires comfort. It creates a dynamic of playful back and forth that she's choosing to engage in. Women don't tease men they're indifferent to. If she's making fun of you with a smile, she's engaging. That's often attraction expressing itself through humor. Physical touch is one of the clearest attraction signals, but it's also one that requires careful interpretation. When a woman is attracted to you, she often finds reasons to make physical contact, not aggressive or overtly sexual contact. subtle touches that could be written off as accidental if questioned. She might touch your arm while making a point. She might brush against you when moving past. She might playfully push your shoulder when you say something funny. She might let her knee touch yours while sitting and not move it away. These touches serve multiple purposes. They test your response. If you pull away, she knows to back off. They escalate intimacy gradually, and they communicate attraction without requiring verbal acknowledgement. The biological basis here is real. Touch triggers oxytocin release, the bonding hormone. When she touches you, she's not just signaling attraction. She's actively creating connection chemistry. Her brain knows this even if she doesn't consciously. Pay attention to touch patterns over the course of an interaction. If physical contact increases as the conversation continues, if she's touching you more at the end than she was at the beginning, that escalation is significant. She's becoming more comfortable and more invested. One important note: physical touch varies significantly by culture and individual personality. Some women are naturally more tactile than others. The signal isn't just that she touched you, it's that she touches you more than she touches other people, or that her touch with you is qualitatively different from casual contact. This might be the most important thing I tell you in this entire video. Single behaviors don't confirm attraction. Patterns do. A woman touches her hair once might mean nothing. She touches her hair repeatedly every time you're around. That's a pattern. She asks you a personal question. Could be standard conversation. She consistently digs deeper into who you are across multiple interactions. That's sustained curiosity, a pattern. She laughs at something you said. Maybe it was actually funny. She laughs at things that aren't that funny consistently when you're the one saying them. Pattern. The mistake most guys make is over-interpreting single moments. They see one signal and assume attraction is confirmed. Then they act on that assumption and find out they were wrong. What you're looking for is clusters. Multiple signals appearing together. Hair touching, plus sustained eye contact, plus physical proximity, plus conversation investment, plus specific compliments. That cluster tells you something meaningful. Any one of those alone could be coincidence or politeness. You're also looking for consistency. Does she behave this way every time you interact, or was it just once? Attraction that's real shows up repeatedly. It's not a momentary mood. It's a sustained orientation toward you. Train yourself to observe patterns rather than individual moments. Collect data points over time. Let the picture emerge from multiple interactions rather than jumping to conclusions from a single conversation. Everything I've described comes with an important caveat. People are different. Not every woman expresses attraction the same way. Cultural background matters. Personality matters. Past experiences matter. Comfort level matters. Some women are naturally expressive. They touch everyone. They're warm with everyone. They ask everyone personal questions. With these women, you need to look for differential behavior. Is she more expressive with you than with others? That's the signal. Other women are naturally reserved. They don't touch casually. They don't open up quickly. They don't display obvious signals even when they're interested. With these women, smaller gestures mean more. A woman who never touches anyone touching your arm. That's significant precisely because it's unusual for her. Context matters too. A woman at a loud party behaves differently than a woman in a quiet coffee shop. Professional settings have different norms than social settings. What counts as a signal depends on what's appropriate for the environment. This is why baseline matters so much. You need to understand how she normally behaves before you can recognize when her behavior changes. If you only interact with her once, you're missing the comparison that makes signals meaningful. Pay attention to how she treats other people. How does she behave with her friends? How does she interact with strangers? How does she engage with men she's clearly not interested in? That's your baseline. Deviations from that baseline when she's with you are what you're looking for. I've mentioned eye contact a few times, but it deserves its own discussion because it's one of the most powerful attraction signals and one of the most misunderstood. Eye contact creates intimacy. There's research showing that prolonged mutual gaze between strangers can create feelings of attraction that weren't there before. Eyes are where connection happens. When a woman is attracted to you, her eye contact patterns shift. She might hold your gaze longer than socially standard. She might look away but then look back. The repeated return of her eyes to you. She might maintain eye contact while smiling. There's a specific pattern psychologists have identified. The look and look away followed by the look back. She makes eye contact, holds it for a moment, looks down or away, then returns her eyes to you. This sequence signals attraction while maintaining plausible deniability. She's not staring. She's giving you a sequence of looks that, taken together, communicate interest. Watch for pupil dilation too if you're close enough to see it. Pupils dilate when we look at things we find attractive. It's an involuntary response. This isn't something she can control or fake. The quality of eye contact matters as much as the quantity. Is she making genuine eye contact, looking into your eyes with presence and attention, or is she looking past you, distracted, waiting for the conversation to end? Engaged eye contact feels different from obligatory eye contact, and you can usually tell the difference intuitively. We naturally move closer to things we want and away from things we don't. Physical proximity is one of the most honest attraction signals because it's hard to fake. When a woman is attracted to you, she'll find ways to be near you. In a group setting, she'll position herself close to you rather than across the room. If the group moves, she moves to maintain proximity. If there's an opportunity to sit next to you, she takes it. She might also angle her body toward you. Open body language, facing you squarely, shoulders pointed in your direction, feet aimed at you rather than at the exit, signals engagement and interest. Closed body language, turned away, arms crossed, feet pointed elsewhere, signals the opposite. Watch what happens when you move. If you step closer, does she maintain the distance or let you in? If you shift position in a group, does she reposition to stay near you? These adjustments reveal her preferences. There's also a phenomenon called accidental proximity. Finding reasons to be near you that aren't explicitly about you. She needs to get something from the area where you're standing. She's looking at the same display you're looking at. She's ordering at the bar right when you are. These manufactured coincidences often aren't coincidences at all. Let me give you a practical framework for applying everything we've discussed. When you interact with a woman and want to gauge her interest, run through a mental checklist. Self-presentation. Is she adjusting her appearance around you? Behavioral shifts. Is she nervous or confidently engaged? Social signals. How do her friends react to you? Curiosity. Is she asking questions that go deeper than necessary? Mirroring. Is she matching your body language and energy? Conversation investment. Is she keeping the dialogue alive? Compliments. Are her comments specific and observant? Physical contact. Is she finding reasons to touch? Eye contact. What's the quality and pattern? Proximity. Is she staying close? No single item on that list confirms attraction, but multiple items appearing consistently create a picture that's hard to misread. Trust patterns over moments, trust clusters over single signals, trust changes in behavior over baseline behavior. And remember, the goal isn't to analyze your way into relationships. The goal is awareness. When you understand attraction signals, you don't have to guess. You don't have to obsess over whether she likes you. You can observe, recognize patterns, and respond appropriately. This awareness also helps you avoid the two biggest mistakes men make. The first is missing real interest, letting opportunities pass because you didn't recognize genuine attraction when it was right in front of you. The second is misreading politeness as interest, projecting attraction onto women who are just being friendly and making things awkward as a result. When you understand the signals, you thread the needle between these mistakes. You see real interest clearly. You recognize when interest isn't there. You stop second-guessing and start seeing. Here's the final piece of this puzzle. Knowing how to read attraction signals is valuable, But it's only half the equation. The other half is being someone worth signaling to. The best way to see attraction signals isn't to get better at detecting them. It's to become the kind of man who generates them consistently. A man with purpose, confidence, and genuine interest in the people around him. A man who's comfortable in his own skin and doesn't need external validation to feel good about himself. When you're that man, you won't need to analyze every interaction obsessively. The signals will be obvious because they'll be frequent. You'll develop an intuition for interest because you'll have seen it enough times to recognize it instantly. Focus on becoming that man. Let the signals take care of themselves. One last thing, don't weaponize this knowledge. The point isn't to manipulate or exploit, it's to understand. When you read attraction correctly, you can respond authentically, pursuing when interest is mutual, backing off gracefully when it's not. That's respect, and respect is the foundation of any connection worth having. Now, everything I've told you today helps you recognize when a woman is interested. But what do you do once you recognize it? How do you move from signal recognition to actual connection? That's what we cover in the next video. Click here to watch it now.